Kaidi joins me now to bring you up to speed with the things we've been tracking on social media, especially our social media of choice, that is X.
X, absolutely. Jeffrey, I just hope quickly that as the torch multiplied, our lack of medals will multiply. Even though if you multiply 0 by anything, you still get 0. But I'm hoping that for the Paralympics, we get multiples.
They made us, they've been making us proud, and which is why some of us are advocating for more funds for them. They had 3 billion. The Olympians had 9 billion. So we hope that they are going to come back with medals, unlike the medalless return of our Olympians. But, well, it's sports. Let's see how it plays out.
Let us see how it plays out. But in politics, we all know how things play out. There's a certain approach or mentality when it comes to holding offices in this part of the world. People don't resign. People don't step down.
Even when they should resign.
Even when they should resign.
Yes.
But there's a man who has broken that, what I call a jinx of sorts, and that is now the DG, or former DG of NIA, who tendered his resignation to President Bola.
NIA being our intelligence agency.
Oh yes, NIA. So it's like the CIA.
Our own CIA.
NIA, right. Okay, so what are you saying about that? I'll start off with this comment from Osage Adams, and I think this just re-echoes what a lot of Nigerians had to say about this. So this user says, interesting. It's rare to witness or hear such words as resignation in Nigerian politics. Get used to it, maybe.
Get used to it somehow. So maybe if we get the next one, so that I can jump in on this particular one, because it's quite commendable to see this happen. As we said, it's a very rare sight at the end of the day when we see public officials resigning. Although we will say that when they were interviewing him, it wasn't quite clear as to why he was resigning. But it's commendable for whatever reason for him to say, I'm not doing it again. Yeah. Scotty, I'm sure you have
the next one is from NR_Marja. It says, the DG NIA is a very sensitive position. Nigerians have the right to know why he tendered his resignation. So he gave some reason, personal. In fact, he couched in a different way. Say, well, it could be for personal reasons, for this reason and all, but he didn't say anything specific. It
was quite smart with his answer. If we can have the next one, so we can move as quickly as possible on this particular one, as far as the other. Say, first government official to resign willingly under Tinubu regime. Though it's very strange, but until the truth of him in resigning is out, we'll know if he deserves kudos. Oh, kudos. I don't know what that means.
Okay, so kudos or kudus, Jeffrey. So on social media, kudos is well done.
Okay.
Kudus, the Ghanaian player.
Oh, really?
Let's move on.
We learn every day.
I don't want to start Ghana, Nigeria war this morning.
All.
But this one is from Monday Johnson. It says, now, a lot of questions will definitely be asked, which no one will be willing to explain to the ordinary man out there. What exactly has gone wrong?
Well, so let's go to the next one. Let's go to the very next one. As far as this particular one is concerned, when we have to talk about the issue of this resignation on the... So, if we can get the next one. All right. I think we're having a bit of an issue here. So, which one is the next one? Say... first, the public officer. Okay, let's go to that. 2 police officers killed, 3 unconscious as soldiers attack Shiites. Oh, is it soldiers now? As 3 unconscious as Shiites attack Abuja, I should say. Not soldiers, I beg your pardon. So, the man, they said the killing of police officers on duty is totally unacceptable. The individuals responsible should be brought to justice. We can also go to the very next one on that one. Altruist001 said, this is heartbreaking. Condolences to the families of the officers. That's quite sad to see we losing our officers in this regard. Omobolanle Sal 10 says, may God rest their souls. So those are the ones we've been tracking. I told you in the news that the police had an engagement with Shiites, and that is what played out. Unfortunately, 2 police officers lost their lives in the process. But let's move on to another story. The Anambra government banning all social events, wedding and shows, entertainment on public school premises. So this is the latest coming from Anambra State, where perhaps I don't know, maybe they are trying to manage the facilities to avoid defacing those facilities.
Well, I think school premises should be school premises, except you're doing a town hall, maybe for a local government, which is something we'll get into. I think that schools should just remain educational environments. So Anambra State government doing this, well, Benjamin Daniel has the first one saying, I love this man so much. So who are you referring to? Is that the governor of Anambra State? Is that who? Well, goes on to say, he's right, please. School is for learning, not social events. How I wish all governors can do this. So obviously it was referring to the governor of Anambra State, this user here.
All right, one pocket says, well, probably to maintain the school facility, but they can still ensure people use it properly and maintain it while also generating money from those social activities to maintain the school.
One pocket, do you have an event coming up very soon?
I've lived around schools, and I know that schools weekends that you're supposed to rest. It's either one form of party or the other. So in Lagos here.
And should you have lessons during the weekend, it will be a very good lesson. But I think the big picture here is what the government is looking at. The next user, Gvox West, has this to say about that decision from Anambra State government, saying, I love it. I remember passing by a public school on Friday, and there were canopies at the school premises for a party in a learning environment.
Well, U_JTV says, thus it's good news for more of those kinds of policies. A school environment for children should be serene and safe for study and learning.
There you have it. So from partying in schools, well, at least this won't be happening in Anambra State. Let's talk about the judiciary, Jeffrey. And one issue that caused quite a debate back and forth on social media is the swearing in of acting CJN Kudirat Kekere Ekum, pending confirmation by the Senate. And then some say there will now be another swearing in or not. So it's been a bit confusing. Why swearing someone who's acting, who's yet to be screened or confirmed at least by the Senate? Will there be another oath of office? Some referred to what happened previously, saying, well, it's a norm. It's something that is now becoming a norm. Some don't understand it. But take a look at what this user says.
So for context, I think the Constitution answers that in Section 231, subsection 4 and 5. So the swearing in itself is the debate.
Right.
But that she can be appointed and act in that capacity. So I guess the debate is whether she should be sworn in acting capacity or she should be sworn in after confirmation by the Senate. But I think the Section 231 provides a bit of an answer. But that part of to be sworn in, the oath part, is what the lawyers will have to help us out on this one. So
we'll look to see if she'll be sworn in again.
I don't think so. I don't be sworn in twice.
I'll take a look at Olumide Phillips congratulating her, saying there's an urgent need to complete independence of the judiciary in this country. So while we can talk about swearing in or not, there is a real work to be done.
Exactly.
Which is, of course, ensuring the judiciary serves all Nigerians, rich or poor.
Okay, therapist underscores 007 said, congratulations to you, man. We trust you bring great deal of sanity back to our legal system. I understand that you cannot do everything, but even a small part will be greatly appreciated.
So lots of congratulations flowing in, but you know how these things are. The congratulations will come and then you have to hit the ground running. On a final note, Jeffrey, let's take this one about the oil and gas sector. And it's the Crude Oil Refiners Association of Nigeria urging the government to consider selling NNPC refineries in Port Harcourt, Warri, Kaduna.
That's literally selling our refineries.
Guess what? As a means, Jeffrey, to finance modular refineries. So you wondered, where's that coming from? But let's see what you have to say about this. First user, Son of Gold, says, we don't want them to sell it. Let them use the subsidy money to go fix one. Then when they start selling and making profits, they use it to fix the rest. So you can understand how Nigerians are approaching this. First, they don't even understand how the sector works. The sector has not been transparent enough for you to look at the numbers, to look at the output well enough and say, okay, this is what we can move around. So when Nigerians prefer solutions, hey, you can't blame them. The sector has not been transparent enough.
So at the end of the day, if you look at their books, the 3.3 trillion that they made in terms of net profit, but the revenue was 27 trillion. But if you look at their books, you know that NNPC has a lot of challenge. There's something in economics we call gearing ratio, more like liquidity ratio.
Right.
So those metrics for financial measurement as to how you you can free up at the end of the day, to be able to carry out your developmental, whatever it is you want to do, whether it's through debt or equities, clearly that the gearing ratio of the NNPC is not something we could applaud, which is why perhaps the government said that dividend you're supposed to pay us, you need to settle your cash flow issues. So those are the issues at the end of the day. It's a big, complex conversation where you look at it. But the good thing, this is the good thing, at least for one of the very first time, we're seeing by empirical numbers that NNPC really has issues. You know, we've been saying it, but if you look at those numbers, you now know that there's real issue, because their pay, for instance, personnel costs looks over bloated, huge billions of naira for 5,000 something people, how much they earn, and if you break it down, there are so many other things that NNPC needs an explanation. That's why we need to talk to the CFO at the end of the day to come and explain some of the gray areas. But for those who understand numbers and how it works, we understand a few things that you may say, and NNPC is a going concern, but is a going concern with a bit of a question mark.
And not to forget shortfalls as well. Yes. But, I mean, issues will always be there, but you have to fix those issues. So what is being done to fix those issues? Would like to know.
Exactly. So maybe we'll just take one person. Okay, they say we don't have any more time on this particular. So NNPCL, come forward, come and explain to us. Nigerians don't understand, so that's why they are explaining. And there are profound solutions that you're looking at. Okay, what are they saying? Explain yourself. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, we will start the very first conversation for the day. That has to do with the issue of the students' loan. We'll break it down for you right here on the program. So join us again in just a moment.